So good morning, YouTube. We built something. My son and I got a little bit bored the other day. It was his last day of school, and he's been on this Star Wars kick like you would not believe. And guess who his favorite character is? The same as mine, Boba Fett. So he has been asking and asking and asking for me to make him a Boba Fett helmet for as long as I can think. Yeah, it's been a good almost a year since he asked me to start making a Boba Fett helmet. And I was like, all right, so I don't want to go out and buy a bunch of stuff to be able to do this. I want to do it as cheap as possible, kind of DIY style. And we had a bunch of random boxes kicking around, cardboard boxes, and he had some paint and I had wood glue and stuff like that. So we made a Boba Fett helmet. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you a little bit of the progression. I didn't record myself actually building the thing, but I took pictures along the way so that you can see a general idea of what went into building this. Relatively quick, relatively easy, built it in less than a day. Everything's all done. So let's take a look, see how it turned out. So to get started on this stage one here, like I said, we just got a couple of random boxes, and they were everything from boxes that we had groceries in, or book boxes, or random little thin single layer cardboard there. Not the corrugated cardboard, but there's super thin stuff. After we got those all together, we cut them all up. So stage two was a little bit different. That by far took the longest out of the whole project, clearly. We took probably a good 2 hours cutting up different pieces and wrapping them around my son's head and figuring out what fits and what doesn't fit. That was the hardest part of the whole project. It came out great, but it was definitely the longest part. As you can see, there's a lot of cutting, a lot of gluing it together, and random knickknacks that all got stuck together to make this one little helmet type of a design. And yes, it is specifically designed for my son's head, so it's a lot of trial and error. Stage three was a breeze. That was the easiest part of the whole build. Basically, once we got everything all glued together and stuck and dried, we just sprayed it down with some regular old primer. Get it ready for the next step, which is going to be paint. Once the primer dried, we headed on to stage number 4. Now this was where we started getting all the little intricate details as far as the different colors and different things like that. Starting off this, we knew that we didn't have a wide range or variety of paints. So these are paints that you would get with one of those paint by numbers from the dollar store. Terrible paint, and you don't have enough of it. So where we had a tiny little baby cap of green, we had to save that. So I wanted to do all the details first, so I didn't have to paint more green than I absolutely needed to. And I think it looks kind of neat going on the white theme there. Nah, who was I kidding? White's great, but nothing beats the original Boba Fett. Green just looks so awesome here. Creeping into stage 5, we struggled and struggled to make that green paint last. We just barely had enough to be able to cover the very last bit of the dome on that helmet. This is where we got the final little intricate details as far as the blaster damage, the little bullet hole on the forehead and the vents in the back, and made sure that we finished up with the rest of the painting. So this is what the final paint scheme is going to look like before finishing. And we are finished. So this is what it ended up looking like after it's all said and done with. I took some 2-part 5-minute epoxy and I rubbed it all over the helmet, give it a little bit more rigidity since it was, you know, just made out of thin cardboard. So we threw that epoxy all over the place, and then threw a couple layers of lacquer clear coat on it. Let it dry for a little bit, and yeah, it came out okay for being a 100% free at-home DIY little project. I think that it came out all right. My son absolutely loves it, so that's all that matters, because he's the one that's going to be wearing it. So, guys, that was our DIY Boba Fett helmet. We had a lot of fun building it, and if you enjoyed seeing little pictures along the way of how we did it and the progress, give the video a thumbs up. I'm going to leave a link to my last vlog down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you guys on the next one.
Subscribe or I'm coming.